Hey everyone, Georgie here. Just before we start this video, quickly letting you know that this video is sponsored again by myself and my one-to-one courses on academic and fiction writing. So if you're interested in writing, interested in learning how to publish your book or article, check the website, the link is in the description. And I'm offering one-to-one lessons and future workshops on writing as well. So thanks again for watching, thanks for following, and enjoy the video.
Have you ever wondered what you would do with power? If you had the chance to measure a circumstance and act accordingly, with a clear and controlled demeanor of a person of full control, full precision. What if you had such control that the very lives of the people around you, or rather beneath you, were so entangled and passionately linked to your very existence? Cast your mind to a place, in future perhaps, where you have, in the palm of your hands, the possibility to end the continuation of a whole species, a whole people, a whole race even. Now, as an exercise, look under this microscope and concern yourself in understanding the intricacies of that relationship. Would it be strange, peculiar, violent maybe, definitely tyrannical? Quaint would not be the descriptive, not here. But alas, the relationship we behold just in our sight is one of partnership and coexistence. Partnership, you ask, ironically, quizzing on the misunderstanding the writer and narrator of this debate, might be having. What sort of partner would crush and corrupt, press and totalize the idea of equality? No partnership. Finally, turn the debate around. Look to the other side, the oppressed, the diminished, the scared, put in the corner, the tyranny of coexistence. Bloodchild, a short novella written by one of the masters of the science fiction narrative, Octavia Butler, is a story of many ideas, many behaviors, many small argumentative feelings between people from very distinct backgrounds who are deeply entangled. When one thinks of slavery, the image that better describes it is the shipment of people from Africa to the British and Iberian colonies in America. Slavery, horrifying, disgusting, inhuman, and highly lucrative activity. So lucrative that whole nations, kingdoms, states have their backbones smelt in the blood to the people who labored, lived, and died in the process. Slavery, a destructive, calculated, malignant human behavior. Bloodchild is not a story of slavery. It is not based on commerce and business, as it's fully founded in feelings, emotions, and family. It is a story of two races, two different worlds, two peoples, living within the same environment. It is a tale of historical connection between two realities that continue to live side by side, despite their differences. Rather, it is because of those differences that both worlds are still alive, thriving, in some way continuing. Gun and Tigatoi, two worlds apart, two absolute opposites, two lives so engrossingly connected that no bounds of family, friendship, dominion will be sufficient to explain. Gun, human boy, sibling, son. He grew up in a world where humans and cliques are intrinsic, intrusive, habitual addends of their homes. His family, mother, sister, brothers, Tigatoi. What does he see? He sees a life of both deference and prestige. Yes, prestige, for Tigatoi is not an ordinary clique, but rather a high member of its race. We learn that human families host cliques. And what are cliques? It took me a few reads to actually comprehend their presence. At first, I was flirting with the idea that Tlicks were not dissimilar to humans, perhaps maybe stronger and more developed. My mistake. Or maybe the poetic of Octavia Butler was to see Tigatoi as part of their family, a distant relative, a high society second son. Not a giant worm-like monstrosity, many-legged entity, egg-hatching impossibility. What is her role? Perhaps the idea of slavery comes from their role. Tlicks cannot reproduce amongst themselves. They need a host, and humans host their guests in many ways. Their failed attempts to commute with other species brought them to Earth, perhaps, to humans for sure. And with their collective well-being in play, they created a home for humans in a distant planet where they can live, survive, and thrive, whilst they serve as their home for Tlick's spawn. The horrifying view of his destiny is tossed into Gunn's life when another human plays his role on the trade-off of bodies. This man, eaten alive from the inside by the small serpents of his master, his friend, his protector, his family. The Tlicks do suffer as well, not physically, but as a community. If they don't reproduce, they'll disappear. But being remotely close to their families make them vulnerable to a humanity they learn to enjoy and nurture. Through blood, flesh, and a deadly birth, Gunn has a revelation that he is more meat than feelings, that Tlicks are more carnivore than family. Slavery indeed. Or is it? Tigatoi and Gunn, rather than seeing themselves as distant, have a relationship of respect, friendship, and even love. A familial love, a love between two relatives that want their common well-being, even though through the process there is the need for suffering, misunderstanding, and sometimes blood. Tigatoi needs Gunn, and at the same time, Gunn needs Tigatoi. Protection and reciprocity, love and death, responsibility and greed. Throughout the novella, Gunn sees his destiny as a host, a surrogate for a controlled parasitism, the continuation of his friend Tigatoi, and the structure of control of the Tlick. It is perhaps a story of love rather than slavery. It is a story of misunderstanding rather than hate. It is, as Octavia does want it to be, a story of male pregnancy, of a change of perspective, of an attempt to show a different role, to partake in the other's ideas, pragmatisms, and desires. A partnership is always a two-role combination, where each partner is an agent and reagent in a combination of actions that, at the end, makes the partnership prevail, even if the partners lose some of their individualism. Gunn and Tigatoi are partners in the journey of discovery, learning about feelings and wishes, learning to understand the other's frustrations, fears, and finally, reaching a common ground, a ground where both step carefully. Or is it perhaps a story of cattle and farmers? Sounds of animal farm, of revolution, of upheaval against control, only to perhaps fosters control on the other side. No. Less animal farm, more babe. Pets are smarter than to try and revolt against their owners, especially when the owners are dead.